Hello guys, I'm super excited today to show you a video with a list that won a tournament in paper in Japan, but it came first place in an 82 player event. KMC No Magician's Clan, they're the same company that make the sleeves, I believe. The 128th tournament of them. This list by Jen Shinohara came first place, and it's super duper interesting, and I'm super excited to show you this video. This came first place in August, so this was a number of months ago. However, I've just seen this recently, and I think it's super duper cool, and I had to make a video on it because it's such an interesting list, and I love seeing people trying something different, trying something new. I've not played any games with it, so this will be the first time I'm playing games with it. I'm just trying it out. There is footage, however, of his finals match against Bug Hogak that you can see. I will put a link to that down in the description below. He's probably much better at playing this list than I am, because he was able to win a 82 players is a pretty big event. That's bigger than some legacy challenges on MTGO for sure. So this is not a result to scoff at. I think in the, how would you say, Western MTG community, people like to think of the Japanese tournaments as a bit of a joke. I know Saffron Olive always has that small Japanese tournament meme, and I mean, there's a little bit of that. Like, I think generally there's more card games over in Japan, and it's more of a accepted hobby, I'd say. So people just play the game just for fun more, whereas I think over we in Europe and the US tend to play card games a lot more seriously, particularly when you're an adult. So I can see why people have that perception. But honestly, the standard of player, there are many good Japanese players that play Legacy. There are many good Japanese Legacy content creators. They are some of the most passionate Legacy content creators. There are several prominent Japanese streamers that only stream Legacy. In fact, I'd say probably I don't know if the people that aren't streaming Legacy are streaming on YouTube or something, but pretty much all of the Japanese streams I see are for Legacy. Legacy is a super popular format over there. I mean, this list was from the 128th of these tournaments, so they've been doing them for some time. Clearly there's a lot of love for Legacy over in Japan, and I think that's really great to see. But enough ranting about the Japanese Legacy scene. Let's talk a bit about this list, because it's super experimental, it's super interesting. The main thing, that's the most obvious thing that really sticks out, is Shambling Shell and Force of Vigor. They are the two main things, I'd say, that are the biggest pulls to this list. Shambling of Shell, if you're not aware, being a Dredge 3 creature, it's also castable in its own right, and most importantly it's green. There is another Dredge 3 creature, Greater Moss Dog, however that costs 4 mana, so also it's not black, which is obviously important for Icarud. In order to fit in 4 Shambling Shells, it's cut 2 Thugs but added 4 shells, so overall there is actually 14 dredges in this list. There are more dredges than a standard list, which should hopefully account for the fact that Shambling Shell is a weaker dredger by having more dredges, if you get me. Careful Study has been dropped to 1, Putrid Imp to 2, and most importantly, and most maybe controversially, Breakthrough down to 1 copy. That is interesting. There are not many enablers. That would be my biggest concern looking at this list. There are not many enablers. However, you make up for that by having lots of dredges, and hopefully the dredge density means that you can get away with having less enablers. You've got more food for Icarid. With the full 4 Icarids, you have a lot of food for the Icarid. You've got, whereas a standard list, even the more heavy on the Street Wraiths lists, generally would only have I mean, the most you'd ever really see in a Street Wraith list would be, with max 4 Street Wraiths, you'd have like 14 black creatures to eat for Icarid. In this list we've got 13. 13? Yes, 13. So this is basically as much food as you can really fit in, which is good because when you've got 4 you need to be able to have ways to feed it. You've got 1 Ox Vagonus, so I mean you can sort of class that as an enabler, kind of. It's got the Dread Return Ox Vagonus combo, which I think are 2 cards that work really well together. It's got 1 Street Wraith. I like that number if you are going to run Street Wraith, just because it can be a good card to counter Surgicals. But this deck's not very weak to dredges getting surgicaled, because whatever you get surgicaled, you're still going to have at least 10 other dredges left in the deck rather than a normal 8. So if you get Grave Troll surgical before, you'll only have 8 other dredges, but in this list you've got 10 other dredges. And then you've got Terror of the Peaks to go with Dread Return. This is probably my least favourite card in the list. I actually think Terror of the Peaks is awful. And this would be the very first thing I'd cut if I was to make changes to this list. I don't think Terror of the Peaks is very good. I think there are just about any other creature is better. On paper it looks amazing, because you're like, oh, you just play Terror of the Peaks and then you just cast Hogak and then you just instantly win, and it goes through bridge and stuff, and you can kill creatures if you really have to, but that's never how it works. You're actually statistically very unlikely to hit your Dread Return and your Terror of the Peaks and the Hogak and have enough stuff to hit, unless you're literally all the way through your deck. And if you're all the way through your deck, you don't need Terror of the Peaks to win, in my opinion. So I'm not a big fan of Terror of the Peaks, but it's in here. I think it's cool. Hopefully we can get some kills with it. Hopefully we don't just end up hating ourselves for running Terror of the Peaks. And then the sideboards where we get the payoff for the slightly weird looking main deck, because we have two Leyline of Sanctity, 3 Leyline of the Void. We have 1 Shenanigans, obviously an answer to Cage, 2 Nature's Claims, and then 4 Force of Vigors. This is the big one. This is why you play Shambling Shell. So you're able to bring in 6 answers to Leyline, and then you can pitch Shambling Shell to Force of Vigor, and you can answer double Leylines, you can answer all sorts of stuff. I played Force of Vigor in my Yorion video. If you go back and watch that, I had some amazing plays with Force of Vigor and it felt great, but the main issue with Force of Vigor in a standard list is you really generally never want to pitch your Grave Trolls to Force of Vigors. Like, if you have a Stinkweed Imp in hand, then yeah, it's fine. And if you need to answer a Leyline, you will do it, because the other option is just to lose. But really you don't want to be pitching your Grave Trolls to Force of Vigor. But in this list you don't have to. I mean, you can, but obviously you've got Shambling Shell to pitch as well, and you've got the Nature's Claims. Then you got the Ashen Rider. Ashen Rider obviously a good answer to things like Tabernacle. Seems a tad bit redundant with the main deck Terror of the Peaks, but maybe he was aware that Terror of the Peaks is often not the easiest card to get the combo kill with against the prison decks, so Ashen Rider I think makes a lot of sense. You got 1 Lotus Petal just for like the decks where you want to go fast, and then probably one of my favourite cards that I love to see in the sideboard, and I love to see that other people are adopting this, even over in Japan. I'm not sure whether this guy has seen my lists, or he came up with it of his own accord. But we've got an Oko in the sideboard, and I love it. I think it's great. I love that more people are picking up on this tech. I think it's super cool. I think it's super fun and interesting for as long as Oko remains legal in the format. Personally, I think it will be the next card banned. But for a while it's legal, we should abuse it, I think, and it's super fun to see it in this sideboard. I've talked more than I should have about a list that I have played 0 games with. I will get into some games now. As I said, you can go and check out the YouTube links that I will put below to the KMC finals matches that this guy played, and you can see someone play this deck a lot better than I do. Right, round 1. This is not keepable. This is keepable. I think here we actually... I think we bottom therapy here. That is super good for us. Opponents on Goblins. So we have a couple of options here, right? We can either... Well, I mean, we've even got an Oxford Gonus in the deck, so we could even try and crack the Cephalid Colosseum first, but I think the safest thing to do in this situation is just to dredge as much as possible. You can try and get fancy, but generally it's not worth it. Just take the guaranteed I am going to dredge lots line, and that tends to pay off in the long term. Like, yeah, we could have high rolled the Ox there, but I mean, really, how much better is it than just guaranteeing we dredge the max amount? Because generally one dredge is just better. Looks like we're going to be able to kill this guy on the first turn. How many bridges do we have? There's Terror of the Peaks. So we could sack Nalchemy, Cabal Therapy, Dread Return, sacking that, then hit them for 4. That wouldn't kill them, and we don't have Hogak. This is what I mean, right? We're down to 12 cards left in deck, and we've managed to get some of the pieces, but not enough to kill them with Terror of the Peaks. If Terror of the Peaks was Flamekin Zealot, they would be dead. They would be so unbelievably dead. They would just be dead. They'd just be dead. It wouldn't even be close. They'd just be finished. But Terror of the Peaks is like, I can do 4 damage at best. That's all you get, I'm afraid. Only 4. Just 4 damage. Even Flare of the Hatebound would be better, because you could Flare of the Hatebound and then sack the Flare, and then you do 9, and then next time you kill them in the upkeep with the Icarids. I mean, you're going to kill them in the next turn of the upkeep with the... Anyway, but I mean, if your plan's to kill them or do as much damage right now, Terror of the Peaks is just awful. I don't know, I really don't like the card. And right now, is it even worth Dread returning the Terror of the Peaks? I'm not sure it is. Goblin Crater Maker. 2 Skirk Prospectors. Good thing you didn't cast that turn 1. That seems a bit loose by him. Dread Return. I honestly think I'm just going to Dread Return Ox, because it lets me find the Hogak, and that seems most important here. Actually going to dredge 3 Shambling shells here. Just so I got 3 cards left in deck. Okay, so Hogak's in the bottom, we bottomed a, yeah, okay, opponent's scooping it up anyway. But we bottomed 1 card, so Hogak was in the 2 cards that we didn't know at the bottom there. It happens. So Goblins is on ley lines right now because of Oops All Spells, so I need to cut a lot of stuff. Street Wraith, I think, has to go. In come our leyline answers. Icarid should go. I guess I'll cut a Thug. The other option's cut Hogak, but I really don't want to do that. I think Hogak's really important when they have a Skirk Prospector in play. And yeah, I think this is about right, but sideboarding's a bit awkward here. I don't want to cut any of the enablers because we've got so few, right? Like, our enablers are basically, I mean, you can sort of class therapy as an enabler, but our enablers are basically like 8 cards, so you can't really cut any of them. Cutting a Dredger makes the most sense, I guess. And you don't want to cut a Shambling Shell because you want the green count for Force of Vigor. That's the whole point, right? It's actually kind of hard to bring in 6 cards. This hand's good, but I'm not going to keep it because, like, with London Mulligan, I don't think you can keep speculative hands like this, personally. This hand just needs a land. Any land. I think I keep this. And we're getting leylined. You enjoy to see it. Oh, we both kept a hand with no lands. Okay. Would be nice to draw any land in our deck. Yeah, if this was a looting, I probably would consider mulling this, but the fact that even Cephalid Colosseum makes this a keepable hand makes me think that this is probably a good keep. Opponent top decked probably the worst land in their deck, except, and no, even a Wasteland I think would be better for them than a Swamp, because then at least they could Wasteland us. However, they've just drawn 2 running lands in a row, so that sucks. However, they've got no playable creatures. Okay, a bit odd, but whatever. So I actually like therapying ourselves here because we've got so few things we can draw. I think that's better. Oh, okay. Our opponent just top decked Wasteland after top decking 2 lands in a row, so we got punished for that play. Yeah, and we'd have drawn into 2 lands. So we basically got maximum punished for that play we just made. Yeah, you enjoy seeing it. But our opponent's hand is seemingly absolutely nothing. I want to name Sling Gang Lieutenant, if possible. Because that card is very difficult for us to beat. What is this? Munitions expert, kill your own creature? Okay. That kind of sucks. Because now we have no Dredge in the graveyard. Maybe we should have targeted ourselves first. But I don't think you can count on your opponent doing that, honestly. How does that make any sense? How's he got 2 lands in hand? Like, he passed first turn without playing a land. Unless he just misplayed and didn't play a land for some reason. Maybe it was all a bait. I don't get it. I don't understand. Of course we top deck Narcomoeba. This game's just a mess, man. This game's just a very strange, a very odd game of Magic going on here. Unless our opponent's drawn 2 lands in a row, which based on how he's played so far, I think would be unlikely. I think he's just holding up Munitions Expert. I mean, we'll be able to tell now, right? Okay, maybe he has just drawn nothing but lands. Oh my god. Top deck Relic? Why? Why me? Top deck Relic and he was sandbagging Goblin Matron? What is going on, guys? Like, hello? Oh wait, no, maybe he drew the Goblin Matron off of the Relic. Okay, that would make sense. Okay, and we're going to die to a Muxus next turn. However, I would like to see what he flips off the Muxus. I'm losing my mind over here, guys. Like, I'm actually going insane. This guy's plays make no sense. Like, it's not just me, right? Like, nothing that's happened this game has made remote sense in the slightest. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is correct to just hold up Munitions Expert there. I don't know, man. But the whole playing no lands turn 1 made no sense. Like, look, what is he doing? Oh, he was trying to tap an upkeep. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's a lot of goblins, and that is enough for me to scoop, because he can hold up Goblin Crater Maker. I'd have actually took a draw there, just because I think that was the only way we were getting out of that. But yeah, that was a weird game. Hopefully this one's less weird. Hopefully this one's less weird. Again, I don't think we can keep this, even though this is good because of Leyline. Okay, now this is really good. This is awesome. Opponent may have a relic here, however if he does he's got to sandbag it. The worst thing you could have here is like Skirt Prospector, which would suck, but it's a whatever. Not sure what use doing that is there. I think we do just Dredge here. And I am going to name Relic here, just because every other play he's made so far makes no sense. So I think him having Relic here would make no sense. I mean, I guess he wouldn't play it since he knows I have. Okay, so there's the Skirt Prospector I was afraid of. And he's got a Goblin Crater Maker here, but he can't play that for 2 turns. Maybe Skirt Prospector was a better name, but like, surely you'd play that instead. But as I said, this guy's plays haven't made much sense. Hitting Icarid off of this would be super good. We did, that's awesome. We are in a good position next turn. Okay, so often it's correct just to pass and get your Goblin triggers and then force them to crack their land, crack their Crater Maker themselves next turn by paying a mana. It sort of is a way of like porting them off a land. But actually I think the correct play here is to swing with Icarid. The reason to do this is if you don't, that means next turn he can hold up Crater Maker. Potentially if we dredge into another bridge he can get rid of that, and also he can use the Crater Maker to kill a zombie, whereas if we swing and he chooses to block, we get to keep a zombie as well as getting the zombies from the Icarid. So I think it's actually correct here to swing, because we end up losing a zombie anyway, and if he doesn't block then we just get 3 damage in for free, obviously. You don't want to swing with the zombies because he'll just block a zombie and then you won't get any Icarid triggers, and that's just the worst possible, I think. Oh, he's got a second Crater Maker. Still, I think this play's good. I thought he had 2 pile drivers, but still I think this play's correct. Because he can exile our bridges anyway, if he's got a 3rd land. This play's only bad if he doesn't have a 3rd land. And we win. Awesome. Really good. Our opponent was playing very weird, but we managed to pull through the win, which is nice. Alright, round number 2. Stooch. Awesome hand. Super good. Super good. Doesn't get much better than this. Pretty much the nuts. Almost the nuts. I mean, we can't get much more nuts than this really, because we've got no breakthrough in the deck, so this is pretty much as good as it gets. We can get punished here if he has Force of Negation, but having the Ox follow up for the next turn actually means that we're pretty much guaranteed to win this game, unless he's got like Force of Negation into Force. Oh, can we get the turn 1 kill before he scoops it up? We definitely have enough stuff going on here to kill him turn 1. Because we can literally flip the entire deck over because we can return Ox of Agonis 3 times. I've never actually had anyone let me kill them on turn 1. They normally just scoop the game up before that ever happens. Yeah. Sad. I was hoping to kill him with Terror of the Peaks. But that's what I mean, right? It's not really necessary. How do we side versus Delver? Lotus Petal comes in for sure. We take out... Actually, it makes sense. It makes sense. This guy's actually thought it through, right? Because you take out the Terror of Peaks and the Dreadbaton because it's not really necessary in the matchup, and you bring in Shenanigans and Lotus Petal, and then you have almost a functioning deck. This is actually pretty strong against Delver. This is actually, like, you're lacking the ability to just power through all of the counter spells. So if he's got a super counter heavy hand, this isn't actually a very good list. But it's very good at, how would you say, playing through hate. Well, surgical hate specifically, but also it has answers to Cage. But at the moment, Delver's not playing Cage, which is the reason why I don't like Shenanigans very much against Delver. The majority of Delver players at the moment are playing either Soul Guide Lantern or I will actually keep this just because it's got 2 LEDs, even though it's got no lands. If we draw a land, this is amazing. If not, it's still passable. We could even play slow. Oh, that's a super good draw. Maybe we should have just... we kind of want to play out the land to play around days. I'm just going to do this. If we get countered, we get... If we get surgical, we get surgical. We do not get surgical. Okay, well in that case we're going to do this. What is his hand? He has no counter spells? Or maybe he just didn't want to daze our thing? Or maybe he's got a relic and he didn't want to play turn 1, he'd rather play it turn 2. Ow, that's super bad. Not hitting any Narcomoebas there is like really unlucky. But I don't think we did anything wrong there. Oh, actually we did do something wrong, right? Because we had 2... Yeah, we should have cracked 1 for red, 1 for blue. Yes, no, that was a mistake because we could have returned Ox of Agonis there. That was super loose. In those sort of situations, actually, no, I don't think we did actually misplay because all chances are we're expecting that Faithless Looting's going to get countered, right? So we don't want to crack both Lion's Eye Diamonds there. I don't think we made a mistake actually. I was almost thinking, oh yeah, because if we'd have cracked 1 for red, 1 for blue, we could have cast the Faithless Looting flashback with 2 blue and a red, and then have 2 red thrown, and then we'd have been able to escape the Ox of Agonis. But like, you were expecting a counterspell there, right? You don't play with the assumption that your opponents had nothing after they top 1 with a Preordain, and after going Volk, Preordain, yeah, because he topped 1. Yeah, 1 card on bottom, 1 card on top. Yeah, you can't play like that. So I don't think we made a mistake there. I was almost going to be angry with myself. I'm leaving the Street Wraith in the deck. I don't think it'll come up, but I could see some weird world where it's conceivably something that occurs is that we want to, what would you say, put a Street Wraith on top of our deck, but I don't think it's going to happen. Our opponent's hand's odd. Our opponent's hand's super odd. Like, you have to counter this, right? You daze it. Okay, well I mean, yeah, we expected he'd have it at daze. What are we looking at here? Lightning Bolt? Maybe he's got Clothis? Why didn't he force us ever? Or maybe he just drew the force, whatever. Okay, so MTGO crashed, and our opponent, while we were rebooting the game, scooped. So that was a win. Okay, just making sure you guys are aware. Ooh, round 3, and we open the absolute nuts again. We are getting very lucky. I'm fairly certain this is solely based off memory because I don't have my spreadsheet open, that this guy's normally on Painter. Ha! Joke's on you. Should have kept a chalice hand. Welcome to pain, my friend. Oh, what is this? What is this? You are about to not have a very fun time, I see. Hitting the terror, oh wait, no, that's... Yeah, he's picking up his cards, don't blame him. If that was a chalice there, we do kind of get screwed. And this is where the Force of Vigors are, how would one say, bananas, to put it politely. Taking out the Terror, bringing in the Ashen Rider. Street Racer, good card. You can go down an Icarid. These cards are subpar. Cut a land for a pedal. Cut a Thug. This looks wonky as anything. Maybe it's best to cut Hogak in this list. Keep a land. Do something like that. I don't like cutting Hogak versus Moonstompy, honestly. I think it's bad. This hand's not keepable. Even though it's got Force of Vigor, we need another green card and a Dredger for this to be keepable. So this is just going to go straight into bowl. Sounds super close if we can draw a gold source. This is also good if he keeps a chalice hand. I'm inclined to keep it for that reason. Oh, maybe it is actually Painter. That Astrolabe looks a lot like a Painter thing. That's definitely not a Moonstompy thing. Well, if it's Painter, then I really don't want to... If it's Painter, I really do not want to play out my Lion's Eye Diamond, because that deck has a million ways to kill Lion's Eye Diamond. 1, 2... I mean, you could add Surgical here. It's possible he does, just because there's so much oops right now. Yeah, we just Cephalic Colosseum. That pause was concerning, but I don't really want to just sack, like, I don't want to just sack the therapy, sack the Narcomoeba to the therapy. I think it's a bit overall, like, imagine he has a Surgical, which is what I think this probably is. Um, yeah, like this is fine, right? Because we still have two shambling shells in the graveyard, which, while not the best dredger, are better than nothing. If these were thugs, this is when it really shows how mediocre Shambling Shell is. But Shambling Shell's good enough in Vintage, albeit Bazaar of Baghdad absolutely carries that deck. I actually played a game of Vintage Dredge and I was just astounded at how good Bazaar is in that deck. It's insane. I think I name Imperial Recruiter here. I don't do anything else here. Like, he can Simian Spirit Guide, cast Simian Spirit Guide next turn, or if he draws a land, just cast Simian Spirit Guide. I don't want to lose my Ashen Rider at the moment, and I don't want to eat either of my... God, Shambling Shell sucks. I think I just target myself. Oops. I don't think I can even Shambling Shell. I don't think I can even return Icarid next turn. It's too risky. Wow, okay, I wouldn't have scooped there, but whatever. We get an Narcomoeba then turn after we get Dread return, but we brick on Dredges. Yeah, I wouldn't have scooped there. That was super loose by my opponent, but whatever, I'll take the W. Round 4. This loses to a force. However, I can discard to hand size, and it has a lot of follow-up against getting wasted / has an Oxvagonus, so I'm going to keep it. Looks like humans, either the Cavern of Soul. Okay, yeah, it's definitely humans. I was going to say it's either Death and Taxes or humans, but yeah, that pretty much seals that it's humans. Even though we drew that Cabal Therapy, it's definitely correct to open with this now. If we get wasted here, it kind of sucks, but like honestly isn't the end of the world. He's probably thinking to himself, do I cast Thalia or do I waste this guy? Hopefully we don't brick on Dredges. We did not. However, I don't want to therapy myself because like I do, like, because Shambling Shell's garbage, but also I don't want to open myself up to him wanting to wasteland me again. Oh god, General Kudrow is a problem. What did I just remove? Oh yeah, Reflector Mage. Okay, dredging Grave Troll there is excellent. That's what we were needing. I really want to hit a Narcomoeba here. Which was the reason I discarded the way I did. Can we just kill him now? Wow. I think we just kill him. That's actually pretty crazy when you think about it. Treb return, Terror of the Peaks. Well, we managed to assemble the... Yeah, he knew what was coming there, blimey. Though even then, I think I'd have probably rather had Ashen Rider. Like, we'd have had to have eaten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Sacotherapy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we'd have had exactly enough cards in Graveyard to pull that off, but it would have been very close. Because we'd have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sack it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sack it, and then you just eat the bridges. Yeah, we'd have had exactly enough, but yeah, wild. Fairly certain Humans is on ley lines right now because of Oops. They've also played Macabre in the past. But I think there's one guy that's well known for playing Humans, and at the moment I believe he's on ley lines. So that's why we've got these. Tower of the Peaks, again, don't think is necessary in this matchup. If we're expecting them to have ley line. Hogak I don't think we can cut in this matchup. Ox I think is alright, but not really where we want to be. Maybe I do cut a shell here, though I really don't like it. I'm somewhat making up my sideboarding here as I go along. I don't want to cut any of these. I don't want to cut any of them, but I also don't want to really cut a Thug. I guess no, I'm going to cut a Street Wraith's the logical card to cut, but I don't want to cut it in case he's got Macabre. But I guess I'll just cut it. This hand's. I once asked other Dredge players because I was curious of their opinion. Would they keep a hand that was Mana Confluence, Lion's Eye Diamond, Breakthrough, Grave Troll, 3 Narcomoebas? And most people said it's a mull. This is worse than that, so I mull it. I keep this, even though it's not ideal. The fact it has a leyline answer, I think, makes this worth keeping. We are smart. There's actually no reason to. Well, I guess if we draw exactly. I guess if we draw exactly faithless looting, that's a reason to do that there, but I think it's better just to pass in case we can, I don't know, hit like an Ether Vial or hit like another random hate card or something. Yeah. Non-creature, non-land. So if I claim that now, he'll do that. So there's like no reason not to just do that, because then he doesn't gain life. Because he's going to eat whichever one I don't take. Then it's just a case of, do we want to draw here, or do we want to discard in our upkeep? I'm just gonna start dredging, I think. We would have top decked Cephalid Colosseum, so we'd have been fine, but well, I mean, we wouldn't have been fine that turn, we'd have been fine next turn. But honestly, I just want to get the dredge going. We could have easily drawn something that's not useful there, and then we'd have been in a bad spot. But really, are there any? I guess any Narcomoeba is a bad draw. Yeah, I don't know. It's close. It's close. Thalia, not really a problem because we can still flashback looting with the gemstone mine. I'm quite happy for him to swing because that means we can get some beats in. We are getting beaten by beats. Okay, that's good. That's what we're after. Hopefully we can hit some more Narcomoebas. Wicked. And bridges. That is good. We can't do anything else here. We just have to pass. I mean, we could swing with Narcomoeba, but I'd rather just leave it on blocks. Block like that. Take 5. If we can hit some more bridges here, I think we'll be able to stabilise. Great thing is we have so much Icarid food, it's not even funny. Yeah, that's really good. I don't want to swing, I actually want to take Rick out of their hand. Rick is like the most terrifying card in these sort of situations. Okay, I don't care about any of those cards. We really need another Icarid soon. I think we have to block this here, even though I don't really want to. Would really like to hit Hogag. Can't even turn sideways here. I think we just have to. I think we just have to go to end step, create a bunch of zombies. Hope to hit our Narcomoeba next turn. Don't be detention. Don't be detention mage or whatever it is. Oh god. Ugh. That's like perfect top deck. Right, well then. You got us. Would we have hit the Narcomoeba to survive the next turn? Yes, we would have. Yeah, because if he swings with everything, we just chump everything that we have to. We'd have lost our bridges, but then we'd have been able to backswing with a decent amount. I don't see any reason to change any of this based on what we saw there. This is fine if we draw any green card, so I think we keep this. I think we don't play a land here just so we don't open ourselves up to getting wastelanded turn 1. Because we don't want to cast any of these cards. Okay, now we get punished for... No, we don't actually. It's made different. Wait. We do that now, so that he can't use Ether Vial. Force of Vigor showing why it's an excellent card, though it was somewhat awkward in that situation. Awesome. Awesome. You know, I'm starting to think there might actually be something to this list. I'm starting to think there might actually be something to this list. We have been getting very lucky on the opening hands, though, I will say that. Yeah. Alright, round 5. Hopefully we can get the 5-0. This is not keepable. This is keepable. I think we actually bottomed the Hogak here, as much as that pains me. Is this depths? That sucks. Nothing much we can do about that, sadly. Shambling showing why it's awful. 5, 6. We can't even do anything here if we wanted to. Whoa, 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 whoa! Oh my god! The F6 killed me. I knew immediately I shouldn't be F6ing, and yet I do it. That's rough, man. It's not the end of the world, because we can flash back with this. Oh, okay. Alright. Weird. Don't know why he scooped that. Maybe he knew I was going to name Vampire Hex Mage. Unsure. Unsure what was going on there. A bit odd to me. We have no answers to Leyline if they are turbo depths, unless we bring in Nature's Claim, which I don't think I want to do. I don't know what to do about Leyline. I don't think Nature's Claim's a playable card if they don't have Leyline, but it's so rough. I think I just go with this. Hope I don't get Leylined. I like Stern Dismissal, but this list can't run Stern Dismissal. Don't Leyline me, bro. I can't keep this. I can't keep this. I can't keep this, but if I draw a thing that's better than nothing, I'm just going to keep it. Hopefully he Leylines me, and then I don't feel so bad about this terrible hand. This is the bug depths list of Negator 77 with the rainbow lands. I think that deck is always running Leylines in the sideboard, so we might just auto lose game 3 because they run 2 Leylines and I'm not sideboarding for 2 Leylines. Like I'm not doing it. Yeah, this definitely is. But literally the only cards that a Nature's Claim hits is Leyline. So bad. I mean, if you have another land next turn, you can give that pro white with Sajiri Step. Don't know why he's given me this opportunity. Oh, I will scoop here. There's no way I can win. Yeah, there's no way I can win if he's going to hold up Bog. Yeah, this is super rough. I can't keep this. I don't think I can keep this either. I don't think it's good enough. This is better. Don't leyline me, please. I want the 5-0. I'd feel so much happier with Stern Dismissals in the sideboard, but there's literally, because of the way the sideboarding works, there's no way. I think, even if he's got Surgical, I think we're okay here. I think we are okay here. Thoughtseize me, please, I beg you. Not today, Satan. Probably named Cephalid Coliseum now, but oh well. What can you do? Yeah, nothing I can do about that. That sucks super hard. Maybe we can just slow dredge and get lucky. I mean, it's possible he has double Elvish Spirit Guide, but if he does, there's nothing I can do. I can't block. So... I would really, really, really like to hit a Narcomoeba. We're just dead now. I'm angry. I really wanted this 5-0. Grr, I am mad. Oh, this sucks. I hate depths. I mean, maybe we could have tried to draw spell. I mean, we'd have actually hit Lion's Eye Diamond there if we'd have done that. But I don't know. I feel like that's bad, especially when he opens Thespian stage. Like clearly he's drawn the Urborg off the top. I don't know. We are just dead now. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like taking the dredges there is better than trying to take a draw there. Like hitting a Narcomoebe is fine here, right? We only need to buy ourselves a few turns. The fact he had the Piling Needle for the like, who keeps Piling Needle in against Dredge? It just doesn't seem very good. But what do I know? What do I know? Where are our Narcomoebas as well? Yeah, if he was a couple of turns slower, we'd have been able to get out of that, but yeah, it wasn't happening. Oh well, that's frustrating. Still, 4-1's pretty good. 4-1's pretty good. Not bad at all. I will say, prior to the Magic Marvin guy, I actually queued for one game, and it was so bad I just dropped the league and just re-recorded because I was angry at myself. I managed to he leylined me game 2. Well, game 1 I forgot to discard a Grave Troll in upkeep, so I had to dredge a Stinkweed Imp instead, which wasn't the end of the world. And then game 2, my opponent went leyline to, I lost game 1. I forget how. And then game 2 they leylined me. I think because they went early Skirk Prospector and my dredges were bad. I mulled to 4, that's why, and I didn't have a very good hand. Game 2 they leylined me. I kept a hand with Nature's Claim, and I go land go, and I pass through the end of his turn and don't claim the leyline, and that wouldn't have been so bad because I claimed it the turn after, though he was able to cast Goblin Matron after I did that and then find some stuff. But even that wouldn't have been so bad. It wouldn't have been so terrible if I then hadn't, once I eventually managed to get the dredging train going, forgot to Cephalid Colosseum myself with Narcomoeba's trigger on the stack, which meant that I dropped to 6 cards in graveyard and could no longer use my Cephalid Colosseum. It was just a terrible game. I was so angry that I just dropped the league. So I actually lost a game against this guy before I started this league. So I mean, I guess you can count that as an overall 6-2, but I'm not going to show that game because it was terrible. I'm personally ashamed of myself for that game. I did everything wrong. And I knew I was doing it wrong. I don't know how I managed to skip through the end of his turn. But whatever. This league, however, went really well, with the exception of Turbo Depths as the last one. Was he on his 5-0 game as well? No, he wasn't on his 5-0 game. Frustrating. Yeah, don't know what to say. It was a bad last game, but there wasn't much we could do there. With this, the sideboard is not built to deal with Turbo Depths double leyline cheese strat that they're doing at the moment. But what can you do? What can you do? But I think there's definitely something in this list. I would tweak this a lot, but I think the Shambling Shell idea, maybe there's actually something in that. This didn't go as bad as I thought it would. I think this is a super cool list by Genshin Nahara, and big congrats to him on his win at this pretty prestigious tournament. Oh, they've got a nice little image of the deck there. Yep, really good win, really good job. Super cool. I love seeing fun, innovative lists, even if I think they should be playing more copies of Careful Study. It was super good. Super great list. Thank you all for watching. Remember to do all the YouTube algorithm stuff. This has been another good video trying out Dredge stuff. Hope you all liked it. Thanks a lot. See you and goodbye.